Welcome to the run through of the exercise 2 in the course for SBG051. We're going to start a GIS project in ArcGIS Pro, read in a raster file, an aerial photograph, and we're going to digitize it, map it. That's essentially what this exercise is about. The instructions that you see here, I have in a folder. If we go in here, we have the homes directory, H:\document. We go into the course folder, SBG051, and then in docs here, we can see the instructions here as an HTML file. These are the instructions that we'll be following here. And read through these instructions. I hope you've already done that. You've not gone straight to this video. So we need to read through these to understand why and wherefore. What are we doing here? What is this all about? So please do read through the instructions first, then resort to this video. If you can do the exercise without resorting to this video, great. So let's get going. We're going to start ArcGIS Pro and create a project, and then read in the image. So to do that, on the desktop of the remote desktop here, we can actually minimize that for now. We go to our programs folder, and we go to geomatics, ArcGIS. This we went through in the last exercise, ArcGIS Pro, and we start the app there. And we give it a few seconds to start up. And if this is going to take too long to start up, then no, there we go. We're already there. So now we need to start a new project, and we did that by clicking on this map here. Direct the location to where we want it saved, not where it thinks it should be saved. And we go to homes there, and we look for our folder called documents. There we go, SBG051, and we're going to save it in the SBG051 folder. We're going to call it, don't forget to change this name, exercise 2, so we know what we're doing. And we want to create a new folder for this project. So the tick mark is in there. Yep. So we've created a new project called exercise 2. Going to save it in the right location, which is the course folder for this course, for the SBG051 course. And then we click on OK there. And that will create our project eventually. So we did all this last week in the previous exercise. Let's just get rid of these, remove that, and remove that, please. Thank you. Then we go to Catalog, and we click on Folders there, and we can see we have our Exercise 2 folder with everything it needs, but we want to add our raw data. So we click on, right-click and Add Data. We then need to locate again Documents folder, course folder, and there we have raw data. Click on OK, and then that's added. And then according to the instructions, we then want to add the RGB orthophoto. So we drag that into the project. Whew. So today the H: server has been problematic, rather slow, but there we go. So finally in. Let's just save this project. Click on Save, and we now have the project up and running. Some of the basics anyway. So now we are at step 2. We've created this project, we've read the file in, and if we check here, we can see that our coordinates now, we now have eastings and northings. It looks very much like our SBG051 coordinate system, which it should be. We can just click on Properties there to check, and then we click on Source. And if we look at Spatial Reference, we can see SBG051 TM, and that is the coordinate system now being used by the project. So we're good, everything's set up exactly as we had it at the end of last week, essentially. Now we're going to create some data we're going to create a map. But we're not going to map the whole image because it's quite a large image for this exercise. And to do this, first of all, we need to find out where we're going to map. We're going to create a file that will is intended to define an area. So the first thing we're going to look at is a so-called CSV comma-separated file, comma-separated values file. The values that we're going to put in are these values here, and we're going to use a program, a text editing program. And in this case, what we're going to use is Notepad++. So if we click here, and let's see if we can find Notepad++. Go down here. There we go, Notepad++. Click there. If you're working on your own computer somehow with ArcGIS Pro, I don't know how you got that license, but if you are, or if you're just doing a remote to the app, a remote app version, and you don't have Notepad++, then use Notepad, which is a standard tool built into Windows. Do not use Word because Word creates a whole lot of excess nonsense in the file. Not nonsense, but it creates a whole lot of instructions. Word contains lots of instructions for styling the text and defining the file and such things that we don't want in our file. We want to keep it clean. What we want the file to contain is, let's see, is this and only this. Let's copy that stuff there. We do Control C, and then we go back to here, and then Control V, and we've pasted in the data. So this is a point number, an easting, and a northing with a comma separation between them. And then we have the point number 1 and its easting coordinate in meters, no decimal point there. No, we're happy with meter accuracy. And you can see here, actually, when we look at the numbers, it's even been rounded to the nearest 10 meters. So this is 4 points. We need to save this file, and just so that we follow the instructions, so we don't do anything too confusing. Yes, we're going to save it in the exercise 2 folder and we're going to call the file area.csv. So we go back to here, and we're going to click on that save button, or we can go up to file there, and we can do save. At the moment it hasn't been saved, so it doesn't know where to save it or what to call it, so it's asking for all of this information, and we want to save it on our homes folder, documents there, SBG051. We're in exercise 2, which we're treating as our working folder. Now we could click here and look for the CSV ending, but what we'll do instead is we'll just type area.csv. It says it's going to save it as a normal text file, which is what actually a CSV file is. It's ASCII text. And we just put in that .csv there. And we click on save, and it's area.csv. And if we go to Explorer here, let's go to there, and we go look in here, we can see we now have, so in our exercise 2 folder, we now have area.csv. And in the remote desktop, this has been, we can see a kind of indication of it. This has been associated with Excel. Excel can read in this table data. It's just simply a CSV. Let's click on it just to quickly. Yeah, let's open it with Excel for now, just to show you that this is a perfectly readable file by lots of different programs. There we go. It's read it in all in one column. It hasn't bothered reading the commas as separators, which is not ideal, but we could actually do that. I mean, why am I doing this? It's not in the instructions, but just as a quick distraction, we click on data there. From text CSV, we can click on that. And eventually it will respond, and we can click on document, click there, and then import. And there'll be a little import wizard here. Yeah, comma, notice that it's a comma, and then we click on load, and the data comes in. There we go. It's unfortunately done all this horrible styling and sorting stuff. I don't like that. So let's just get rid of the styling like that, and we don't need this, so we don't want filter buttons either. No, thank you. So there we go. And that's, we just read the data into Excel. Why? Because we can. But that's just to show you how flexible this CSV data is. Not part of the exercise. We don't need to worry about this. Just a quick demonstration. So that's the CSV file. That was that same text file here. This is just a plain text file in ASCII. If we look down here, well, actually this is in UTF-8, but that's good enough. That's as close to ASCII as we need to be. The first set of characters are exactly the same. That doesn't make any difference. So let's close this down. We've now created our file, and if we go back to the instructions, we can then see that we're going to import this into our project. We're going to use a tool called XY table to point. So that was a CSV file of comma separated values, and we could see that that could be imported into Excel. So basically it represents a table. It's one way of representing a table. So that's why this is XY table, X coordinate, Y coordinate to point.